can kill with a smile, she can wound with her eyes, and she can ruin your faith with her casual lies, and she only reveals what she wants you to see. She hides like a child, but she's always a woman to me. This is the Community Solutions Podcast. Jason Bradley, Andrew Richter, from deep in the bowels of our underground lair, destroying progressive arguments faster than the Biden administration can destroy the entire country of Afghanistan. How you doing?
Well, another day, another kind of, I don't know, dismal. I'm an eternal optimist, Jay. I try to be.
Me too.
But I give up. I just can't give up.
Nothing more optimistic than that.
I know, exactly. I'm just like, why did we even show up here? I give up.
Oh.
Make your bike lanes, make your give me your guaranteed monthly income.
Wear 25 masks all year.
Just do it. Just do it. Get vaccinated every single day. I mean, Did you hear Lindsey Graham?
No,
a few weeks ago?
I did not.
He came out and said that you should get vaccinated because he got vaccinated and then got COVID. So go get your vaccine. That's literally what he said.
That's a great commercial for not getting vaccinated, I think, isn't it?
Maybe him and Joe Biden are on the same medication. I don't know.
Maybe.
It was bizarre. It was just bizarre. Get vaccinated. It's the magic solution. But, live in fear still.
Yeah.
Despite that. I mean, people's paranoia is almost worse now.
You're going to have to get the booster shot. And you go get the booster shot, then the next variant's going to come.
It's going to be an annual thing. But here's my question.
Annual.
If I don't get the booster shot, am I then a vaccine anti-vaxxer? Am I a crazy person? Am I certifiable then if you get the vaccine and choose not to get the boot? Now, I've had the shot and I've had COVID.
Yeah.
So what do I need a third one for now?
Well, I'll tell you, there's a lot of experts that say that if you've had the disease, that the antibodies are better than the vaccine.
Well,
anyways.
and your T cells and all that. I mean, It's not just your antibodies, but there's other parts of your body. And here's
of course,
the thing.
all the junk scientists, like over at the CDC, won't tell you that.
But that's also been part of the problem. I mean, there are some estimates that 90% of the country, and I'm not including people 12 and under, I mean, people 12 and up, have either had COVID or had the vaccine. So the idea that anything ought to be rising right now, there's something we're not being told.
Mm-hmm.
There's just something we're not being told. I'm not an anti-vaxxer. I'm not an anything like that. I take the data as I call it, as I see it. And something isn't right here. And I think in maybe a year or two, we'll find out what that is. But just like, supposedly Biden was going to get to the bottom of COVID's origins, and he
can't even get to the bottom of his bowl of porridge before falling asleep at 8 a.m.
Well, the latest thing, the edited interview he had with a former Democratic operative, George Snuffleupagus, who used to work for Bill Clinton. I mean, a heavily edited interview is what I'm told.
Yes.
So it was real tough. I'm sure he knew all the questions, probably forgot them. By the way, the song is Billy Joel.
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Yes, Billy Joel. She's always a woman. Love
Unless
that.
she's gender fluid.
Well, that's true.
And at lunchtime, she might be something different.
I love that album. That's one The Stranger that's off of, and then Glass Houses. My mom had those LPs, and growing up, I would always thumb through and be intrigued by those covers.
I've always liked Billy Joel. Couldn't name an album, but I've always liked his music. So and is he still around doing concerts and stuff?
I suppose with COVID he hasn't been doing anything.
Is he still,
before that, I know like he and Elton John went out like a handful of times and did some tours.
Like Elton John a lot. Yeah. Would be good.
Yeah,
good music to see.
A couple of great songwriters. I mean, until like We Didn't Start the Fire and The Lion King came out, and it's like, come on, guys. I
liked We Didn't Start the Fire. Talked about Joe DiMaggio.
You like it because they mentioned Joe DiMaggio.
Yeah, I do.
Never mind that the song is terrible.
What's so bad about it?
It's just, I don't know.
What is it, the Red Rooster of music or something?
It's just pretty bad. I don't know.
Maybe it was my age at the time. I don't mind it
I'm a guy that likes lyrics that tell a story, lyrics that are deep and meaningful and touch me kind of at a soul level, and this one, let's just name a bunch of stuff and then just seemed like a half-hearted attempt.
It might have been. Who knows?
It's just
here's the thing.
Yeah.
You don't, every song, every album, it's impossible. With a guy with a career like Elton John or Billy Joel, it's so hard to make. And this applies to anybody who has been an artist for, those guys, 40 years of music or more. Mm-hmm. They go back to the Elton John goes back to when was Rocket Man, like 1972? We're going like way back. Yeah. It's so hard to make your next song, your next CD as good as your best. There's just it's just impossible.
Absolutely. And every songwriter writes garbage. As a songwriter myself,
I like to see the songs sometimes that get turned down. Like, what do we brainstorm and then just give up? Okay, we can't write about a cowboy eating sandwiches on a beach somewhere. Who came up with that? Just throw it away. It's kind of like a wrestling gimmick that never makes the light of day. It's like, who came up with that? Let's just get rid of it. It's like for every great song, there's 10 crappy ones, and 9 of them you never hear. So it's just I think that I think it's one of the hardest things to do and I think in music is to sustain yourself over so long. And I think another mistake some singers make is they think they have to change all the time. Mm-hmm. They got to grow a beard, and then they've got to sing a little bit different music. They got to get a new look. Right. They got to wear sunglasses. They got to, like they're
and that's what the industry teaches them to do, though. That is
they're
what
a packaged
they teach them
product
to do.
now. Yeah.
You gotta change yourself a little bit, reinvent. But look at the artists that have stayed the test of time. Artists like AC/DC, who haven't changed anything.
You couldn't tell if it was 2020 or 1971.
Right.
You literally couldn't. It's just AC/DC song. I could never tell you. And maybe there's and the only thing I can think of, if I had, it's kind of like an actor. They want to challenge themselves. They want to do different kinds of films. They want to do, okay, if you've played the Will Ferrell, Ron Burgundy character in 39 movies,
right? I
can understand why he'd want to branch out and do something different. Mm-hmm. But it's also like, okay, you found something, you're good at it. Just maybe stick with that. I don't know.
Yeah.
But maybe it's the creativity in them says, I've conquered one thing. Mm-hmm. I'm going to try to do something a little different this time. Yeah. And I don't know if that's just a natural thing or what.
And for some people it works. Look at the Beatles. They did recreate themselves a number of times. You had the early
they weren't
Beatles
together all that long.
The Sgt. Pepper phase
Can't
into
buy me love.
Yeah.
That's the stuff I like.
Yeah.
I don't so much care for I don't mind it, but I don't so much care for the later stuff when they got beards.
I love all of it. It's all good.
The music's all good. If you had to ask me, what do I prefer Hard Day's Night or do I prefer, Yellow Submarine? Okay, I'm going to say Hard Day's Night. That's me.
Well, I don't think anybody but Ringo likes Yellow Submarine, so that's okay.
Hey, if you're in the bathtub, you can play it. That's just fine. By the way, okay, so just to get us on point here.
Yeah.
Did we mention the Brooklyn Park mayor race last week?
I don't know if we mentioned it or not.
Okay, so talk about a saga ongoing.
Yeah.
There has to be a quicker way to get a mayor.
You would think so.
Your buddy, Jeff Lundy, one of your best buds in politics.
I can't wait. Mr. Train himself.
Trains, you have planes, trains, automobiles. Yeah. He's like bikes, scooters, and trains or something like that. That's the movie we should cast. He could play John Candy's role. Or it was John Candy and Steve Martin. He could play John Candy's role in that. Instead of planes, trains, and automobiles, it's bikes, automobiles, and scooters or something. Yeah. We'll have him do that. But, him being now in Hennepin County, and they had a mayor's primary in April. For some reason, that took months.
Yeah.
They just had an election on August 13th. Lisa Jacobsen, who's on the council, won by one vote. One vote.
Wow.
Now that triggers an automatic recount
Yes,
in
it
Minnesota,
does.
0.5 or less. It is an automatic before the canvassing board, which is supposed to meet on Monday the 26th. Now, she's now winning by 2 votes after the recount. She's doubled her lead.
Wow.
Something tells me, though,
Yes.
that the Minneapolis-backed Hollies Winston is not going to go away. Something just tells me that this is going to get dragged and dragged and dragged, and we're going to have, it's not going to matter.
Isn't that the new way to do it?
I don't know. I mean,
Stacey Abrams kind of.
she still hasn't conceded that she lost.
She didn't write the book, but she got the publishing credit. I'll tell
Pretty
you that.
much. I mean, all the money she got, she could fix her teeth.
Yeah.
Anyway, the point being that supposedly there's a meeting called Monday the 26th where the election, quote, gets certified. Here's a question, though. What if they vote not to? Winston's got allies on that council.
Yeah.
And I don't know,
That's for sure.
can Lisa Jacobsen vote as a council? Because she's on the council.
Right. I
think
sure,
she can.
She can, but she should recuse herself. I mean, we all know that they can. I mean, there are races that I both know of.
But they always do this. The city always certifies, and everybody votes whether they win or lose.
Yeah, that's true.
And if she won,
I suppose so, yeah. I mean, somebody's got to vote, and if over half of the council you wouldn't have a quorum if half the council recused itself.
We've had an election. We had a recount. And that's that. I mean, our good friend Garrett Christensen, remember, what did he win by?
He won by a vote, yeah.
2 votes, I think it was, or something like that. They went through a recount and all that, and I mean, shouldn't be that hard to count votes in a special election. It's not like it's election day where Here's the thing. What do you want to bet we're going to hear that blacks were prevented from voting? That somehow there was suppression. There was voter suppression somehow.
I don't know. It's a city. You probably won't hear much.
Well, they're going to try. I mean, I just, something tells me we have not,
Yeah, I don't know. That's definitely a possibility. And I don't know. If Hollies Winston is the Minneapolis-backed candidate, St. Paul-backed candidate, then...
Susan Pa and all the other people that are on, they've got some pretty
crazy people.
Well, I mean, people that are committed to their agenda, no matter...
I'll just say this, people in Brooklyn Park, and let this be a lesson for people all across the state. Stay away from people that align themselves with those that are defunding police, with those that are not prosecuting crimes, with those that are allowing shared bathrooms in schools, with those that are pushing for mask mandates in schools and vaccination mandates in schools. Stay away from the people that align themselves with those people, and you're going to find that you do a lot better as a city. Just saying.
Well, I mean, agreed, but I just, he was definitely backed by all the usual groups that are backing local DFLers, and but I mean, he's written some Facebook stuff that kind of hint that he's not going to step aside.
Really?
That's how, again, this is how I read it. You and I see little thought, and I'm not going to read it. You can go to his Facebook page. I don't want to give him the time of day. But I mean, I think he's putting out hints that something isn't, they're not going to. But I mean, again, what is your rationale for, if you're on the council, if you've had a count and you've had a recount, what's your rationale then for not voting for it?
I guess there shouldn't be one, but
I mean,
if he raises a big enough stink and he's got allies on that council, the allies very well could come. Well, we've got some real concerns about voter integrity and or suppression.
but it would probably take a lawsuit to do that. I mean, there would have to be.
Yeah.
I don't know. And remember, this is a vote to fill out, and now Lisa Jacobsen's seat becomes available.
Right.
She's on the east side. I don't know what the borders are, but the side towards Brooklyn Center. I don't know.
Right.
I have no idea. So, what becomes of that then? Now you have to have another special election.
Right. Which is good. I mean, that's what we preach.
Yeah, and hopefully it won't be an
people
appointment.
of the city should be able to choose their representation. It should not be an appointment where the people who are elected choose the people that are most like them.
Yeah, they get to choose who they get to work with.
How many times have we seen that?
And they also don't have to explain. They can use any process they want. They don't have to explain how they made the decision. They don't have to do anything.
That's the only time some of these people turn conservative is, that's too much money for a special election. We got to appoint. Oh, come on. Then stop spending so much money in other places and don't just choose, cherry pick where it fits your agenda.
All right, there. Calm down, Tiger. Yeah, special. There's other things to. I mean, I always say this too, and this sounds stupid when I say it sometimes, but if you're going to run for another office, why did you run for election in the first place?
Yeah.
I mean, I know this election just happened because of a different election, but It's like Mayor Lundy runs for 4 terms. Runs for something else. This is the second time he's done that. And I mean, it's kind of like, why are you running for 4 years if you don't intend to be there for 4 years? I mean, it's just I mean, I get it in a certain circumstances happen, and people want to step up and do something. It's just.
Yeah, sometimes you don't know when an opening's going to happen. And you have to take advantage of those when you have an open seat because it's easier than going against an incumbent.
Well, and also, you can be a council person and you can really see problems on a council. Think to yourself, okay, if so-and-so became the mayor and so, your approach can be put into practice that way. So it's not always a bad thing. It's just kind of like, is it going to take 8 months now to replace Councilperson Jacobsen on the frickin' council now? I mean,
it shouldn't. I mean, we've seen cities that have made the move, and within a month they have.
But we've seen them in Big Lake. They were at the next meeting somehow.
Yes,
they appointed a mayor and a councilperson at what back-to-back meetings they appointed 2 people. I mean, I think a special election, if I'm not mistaken, requires 45 days notice. There has to be a filing period. I mean, it's not even in a charter city, it's not completely up to them. So there are stipulations. I mean, 90 days might be the fastest turnaround you really can do. It's just sort of.
It's been well over 90 days.
It's been
to get to this election, though.
90 years. It's been. Anyhow, keep an eye on that, and you can watch Monday and see what. Monday's the 23rd. I'm sorry, not. Yes. Not the 26th. It's the 26th. It's the 23rd. So they're supposed to meet quickly to certify this election. And it's a special meeting, so I think that's the only agenda item. That happens, but. Speaking of local stuff, Jay.
Yes.
Actually, let me bring one more thing. You'll be glad to know that Governor Walz and Lieutenant Governor, what's her name? I don't want to say her name.
All right.
Have let President Biden know that they will take unlimited Afghan refugees. I mean, just make sure. And so does Asa Hutchinson down in Arkansas.
Did they actually get any out? Or?
The problem is Arkansas is not a purple state, so they're not on the list. I'm sure. Right. The refugees will end up in Michigan or Pennsylvania or something like that.
Right.
But don't can I ask a question? And I don't want to get into this tonight, but what do we owe the citizens of Afghanistan? With all due respect, they won't fight for their freedom. They won't stand up for democracy. They've had 20 years to get their act together. Mm-hmm. I don't know anybody from that country, as far as I'm concerned. I don't know where the billions of dollars went that we spent there. With all due respect to them, I don't know you squat. I don't know you nothing. Yeah. I don't want to see people get killed, but enough of our people have gotten killed. I don't know you anything. Go stay in your own country and fix your own problems. You've had centuries of this crap there. You know what I mean? If you won't fix it, then don't come here. And now the latest thing is that CNN is peddling is that you're all racist. We're just going to go through this again. And they'll end up in Detroit. They'll end up in Ohio. They'll end up in Wisconsin. I don't know where they're going to be dropped. Mm-hmm. I mean, Asa Hutchinson can beg for them in Arkansas, but
which I don't understand.
He's delusional, just delusional,
terrible.
Everybody's delusional. I hate them all. I can't stand any of you. God.
There's some good ones out there. Ron DeSantis
all three
is
of
doing
them.
a fine job.
I agree with Governor DeSantis.
Yes,
but there aren't too many governors I'm very fond of. It's a short list. It's him. Yep. It's Kristi Noem, and it's maybe two others, and that's about all.
Yeah.
I can't really think of any more. I really can't.
Yeah.
Can you? I mean, Greg Abbott, maybe to a point. Yeah. I wish he would put the National Guard on the border, but outside of that, I don't think he's doing a bad job running the state. I mean, I'll separate the two. I mean, because the border really is not his job to.
No, but he's made some steps, making it illegal to come over.
I think he has, but I think he's unwilling to take the last two steps that are really needed there. Yeah. And Biden's not going to do it. Come on. I mean, how long can you sit there and
But I know the federal government is trying to stop that too through the courts. So
fine, but ultimately he's in control of the National Guard, not the president, not the courts. They can't tell him what to do with it. Yeah. So
the governor of Montana is really good, from what I've seen so far.
What's his name?
Oh, let me look it up. It's a different one. I know I've seen some interviews with him, and he has been doing a fine job, I think. I put Mountain, Montana.
I do like the mayor or the governor of, I can't think of his name, of North Dakota as well. I can't think of his name, but.
Yeah, Fred Frederickson or whatever. Greg Gianforte.
Gianforte. Okay.
It's Italian, I believe. Yes.
I speak Italian. Don't you know that?
No.
Spaghetti, pizza.
Yeah.
I speak Italian.
Okay. All right. I got it.
Just ends. Everything ends with enunciation. You got the spaghetti.
Yeah.
You do all of it. That's how you speak Italian, ain't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's about five then. We use about five.
Yeah. There might be some others if I really thought about it. It's pretty easy to draw a line and cross off a good number of them, starting with Washington down through.
Yeah, so what's going to happen with Gavin Newsom? Is he out?
I don't know. It's so close. It's like 50 to 47.
Well, supposedly the recount vote is end of September, right? I mean, supposedly they have it.
Yeah, I'd love to see Larry Elder in charge of that state.
Oh, I thought you wanted Bruce Jenner. Did you want Bruce Jenner?
No.
Or what's his or her name now?
His
Kim
name
Kardashian or something?
Jenner,
I don't know what the
Still got an X chromosome till the day you pass to the next life there, buddy.
Yeah. Might have done a Lorena Bobbitt, but he's still got an X chromosome. Hope he cleaned those hedge clippers. All right. Let me just say this. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, obviously Cuomo's gone now, and I mean, whoever the Sheila is replacing him. But I honestly, I mean, there was a time where I thought governors were leading the way in this country, and I don't know. I've got my ups and downs on Brian Kemp. I mean, I don't hate him, but I don't love him. I think he's got areas of improvement as well, and So, yeah, it's pretty. The governor situation is pretty rough. I mean, we always talk about how local elections matter and all that and things like that. So many of these folks came from elections way down the ballot.
Mm-hmm.
Very few people started at running for governor.
Yeah.
Okay, so I mean, it's not often.
Yeah. Even people that you would think, they won on their celebrity, like Jesse Ventura.
He was the mayor of Brooklyn Park. Brooklyn Park was at the time was like the 10th largest city in the state.
Yeah.
He beat a 4-term incumbent.
Yeah.
When he ran. I mean, his celebrity helped him, but he was not inexperienced as a political guy. And so, yeah, I mean, you're right about that. I mean, it doesn't happen very often. It can, but it's rare.
But yeah, the GOP keeps putting up people with no name recognition to run for U.S. Senate, or it's really. Hey, let me know how that goes for you. And we've been waiting.
Or bad name recognition. One of the two.
Yeah, that too. Speaking of which, we'll have to see if we have a new chair over there.
I don't know. There's the Twitter's still blowing up, but I don't care. I'm watching it for the comedy. And and again,
yes,
like when we did my show and we had John Gilmore on, and John and I had talked off camera too about my disillusion with even calling myself conservative.
Yeah.
I
think conservative is one thing. GOP or Republican is another thing.
Well,
I mean, your values are definitely conservative/libertarian.
Yeah, but my how I would fix them doesn't fall down a Republican, Democrat, or Libertarian way.
Right.
I mean, I think that it's funny. Put it to you this way. I actually spent time, and again, hopefully this doesn't shock viewers too much, or listeners. I listened to Bernie Sanders on with Joe Rogan, and this is a few years ago. They did a long show, very long show, and Rogan. And I credit Sanders for going on there because most politicians would not subject themselves. Joe Rogan's not. I mean, he's opinionated, but he's cool, and it's always a fun conversation with them. And I got to say something about Mr. Sanders. Republicans need to take, conservatives, whatever you want to call them, have got to take the issues he talks about seriously. Mm-hmm. And whether a college degree is worth it, whether, it has become untenable for people. They've got to talk about healthcare seriously. Not talking about it like you're at an insurance seminar, but I mean, speaking to real people with passion. And I don't hear that.
No.
Now, my views I don't agree with Mr. Sanders' solutions, but how many people can galvanize an audience to feel passionately about something? Yeah. President Trump did it. Okay. But few people can do that. And I don't see people on the Republican side speaking that way.
No.
They give us the accountant's version of something and we're snoring after 30 seconds. Okay. And there's just no passion involved. Sanders talks about corporations effing ripping us off. He's right.
Yeah.
His solution is wrong, but he's not wrong when he talks about Walmart taking billions of dollars in tax credits for building solar panels.
Right.
How wrong is that? We're paying for Walmart to build solar panels.
Yep.
He talked about Amazon in New York. Why does Amazon need a bunch of tax abatements to build a building?
Absolutely.
Sanders again, his solution's wrong.
But the problems are there.
The problem is real. And I think people ripping on, you didn't bring business to, it's like, there's nothing stopping a business from going anywhere.
Yeah.
It's just kind of, but again, I think that candidates have got to stop worrying so much about, and I understand why they do it. It's fundraising. It's re-election support. It's the party bosses that want you to do a certain thing. But it's kind of why I just want to F all that. because, the people who just toe the standard party line and give the same rehearsed answers, I don't want to hear it even if I agree with it. I don't want to hear it. And I guess that's what feeds my delusion is just like, come on, you can't always defend, I go to what President Trump talked about with trade. I mean, both parties sold us down the river. How many times with NAFTA, with CAFTA, with the Trans-Pacific stuff, with stuff that you and I talked about between Mexico, Canada, the United States, all the proposals that were out there that was subject to a media blackout. And it took real journalists like Lou Dobbs and a few other guys like that who exposed all that stuff.
Right.
Ron Paul, a few other politicians who, trans highways where American law would have no sovereignty. I mean,
and the plans were out there. I mean,
they've been out there for 50 years.
You can find them. I mean, official documents.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just sort of like, I kind of feel like I've been sold down the river by both sides, whether I agree with one more than the other or not. So whatever. Send your hate tweets to @RickDemania. Okay. Send your horrible direct messages. Keep them coming. It's okay.
Yeah.
I don't feel, and here's the thing. I don't feel like I'm betraying anybody. I haven't changed.
No. But the establishment, and that's the problem, is really the establishment on the conservative side.
Yeah, whoever they are.
Right.
Whoever, I was part of the party for 19 years, and I have no idea who the establishment is. I don't know who's pulling this. I really don't. I don't know who the master, there's somebody who's doing it. It's like New York, okay? Somebody's forcing Cuomo out of there.
Yeah.
Okay? Whoever is running it behind the scenes, that's ultimately he couldn't survive without their support, whoever it was. Same thing with whoever the guy was before, Love Client number 9. Who was it? Spitzer.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing. I mean, he would have survived had the powers that be let it happen. But, once the mafia didn't want to support you, you were gone. So there's something like that. Anyway, speaking of politicians who I think are looking to move up in the world. Got slapped in the face today, though, and it's just great. I wonder if she had her mask on when she got slapped in the face.
And henceforth our song today.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's right. Another one of your girlfriends, Jay. We just keep bringing them up all the what's going on? What about that? No, we're not talking about Dianne Feinstein. We're talking about the mayor of Rochester, Kim Norton, who I think, first off, she's a former legislator.
Yes.
And was a, quote, moderate, according to the...
Aren't they all?
And I love the coverage she gets in the Rochester Post-Bulletin. I wonder if like a relative of hers or something writes things about her. I mean, I complain all the time about puff pieces in local news. But man, she's got to have somebody. She's got to have a boyfriend or something at that paper. I mean, they're just nothing but one puff piece after another. I mean, there's something going on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, but the reason I want to bring her up, the reason we're bringing her up and talking about her is because you and I have talked a million times about the formula of getting politicians a name for themselves, getting them experience, championing certain issues, and that is how you move up the ladder politically.
Yeah. That
you have to learn to be a rookie. You have to learn the ropes, so to speak. And the DFL side has, in my opinion, done a very good job. If you want to say about the people, they have done it. They've always done a good job of bringing people up the ranks. They have full-time paid people who do nothing but local rabble-rouse, kind of like we do. But you and I don't. Nobody's cutting a check to us to do it, except the people we directly work with.
Right.
And this mayor, who is seen everywhere, literally has her hand in everything.
Yeah, everything.
And I am predicting it here and now that she is the DFL candidate in CD1 next year.
Well, you've heard it here first, everybody.
I have no knowledge on it, but I know a politician who is angling for higher office. You can't fool me. You can't fool you with this stuff.
Right.
You and I know what to look for. You and I know the task forces that they like to get on and the groups they associate with. And you'll see open partisanship on display, which with Mayor Norton is just nothing but open partisanship.
True.
And you can see when somebody is moving in that direction. The mayor over here, Jake Spano, with all due respect, is ready and willing as soon as somebody wants to step down or whatever as senator or whatever. He is there waiting to be in office.
Yeah.
And you can see this coming a million miles away. Now today, I wonder if that and here's I want to talk about today, and then I want to throw a caveat into that CD1.
Okay.
She demanded another mask, declared another emergency.
Oh boy.
And she, it's so dire out there that another mask mandate was put on to protect the children.
You got to protect the kids,
the vaccinated, and to protect the animals and the fish,
animals
and the wildebeest and the the trees, and whatever, climate change, whatever.
Climate change cannot be going and getting COVID. Then everything
exactly. I mean, what if a sidewalk got COVID? What if a bike lane got COVID? I mean, well, we can't have that. Can't waste a vaccine on that.
Your belt gets COVID, your pants might fall down. Okay. You can't have that.
Not mine, but by the way, I just thought of something really gross.
Oh, boy.
You remember Chris Farley?
Yes.
I have never seen anybody walking the face of the earth who could drop his pants as fast as Chris Farley.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing. He would just drop his pants out of nowhere. I don't know why I thought of that, but it's just in whatever setting, boom, they'd be down to the ankles. Okay. So she institutes this mask mandate, and apparently the council has to back her up on this.
Okay.
And had the council voted to do that, it would have gone into effect for 60 days through October, whatever.
Yeah.
The council voted 5-2 today to tell her no.
That was fast.
It was very fast.
Good.
They were clearly not on the same page.
You think she would have maybe took a temperature check
again?
Before,
I think this woman is concerned about herself, and I think she's angling for another position. Mm-hmm. People who are thinking that way want to either be a martyr, a leader, a whatever. And I think now she has another stage to play the victim. Oh, well, I tried to do the right thing.
Right.
Your kid gets COVID. Don't blame me. Blah, blah, blah. I mean, she's got the excuse now to do that stuff.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure that at Rochester Mayo there, she's probably in well enough. I say probably knowing she is in with the Mayo to... I'm sure that's something maybe they're pushing for the higher ups, not the rank and file. Because we've seen with a lot of the medical profession where, out in Seattle, was it? Where they wanted to mandate the vaccines and they're scared they're going to lose almost half of their staff.
Which is funny. Why would medical professionals not want to get the vaccine?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's something I scratch my head at. Like, it should be automatic. You don't question the science. These people are doctors. You don't question them, unless their last name is Paul or Jensen. Then you question them, but other than that, you don't. So, I mean, there is a problem, though, among I think there is a contingent of African folks who work, especially as nurses, who maybe are not as, I mean, African as far as from Africa.
Right.
I don't mean
right,
African
right.
American. I mean, so, I mean, there may be some cultural things to overcome. That may be true. But again, I mean, like I've said, we're not being told the truth about who's not getting vaccinated, because the lowest percentage are among Black and Hispanic folks. It's not white Trump voters with a shotgun on the back of their truck. There may be some of them, especially the ones with 4 teeth. But I mean, I don't, know outside of that. Now, having said that, this vote to go down. I mean, you say that, and I think you're right. I mean, I would have cultivated, or is she so arrogant that she thought, they'll never overrule me. I'm Mayor Norton. Who the hell are you people? Could there have been a little bit of that too?
Yeah.
I'm just trying to protect the citizens. You want to do that? You want to protect the children, don't you?
Yeah.
I mean,
I suppose, and if you feel like the Mayo's got your back, you can stand up to everybody else. So, look, they're the smartest people in the country.
yeah, are they? Well, I don't know. By the way, the KTTC, which I guess is the NBC affiliate down there, is the one that broke this story a couple of hours ago. Had the council passed the emergency, it would have extended through October 18th, which have made the Rochester the first city to require masking in indoor settings beyond government buildings. So this was all the way. The intent from Mayor Norton was to protect children and those medically vulnerable. And here's the interesting thing. Olmsted County is currently 82% fully vaccinated for those eligible, and 86% have at least one dose. We're at 71% statewide. The county reported 54 cases yesterday and one death, a person between 75 and 79 years old. I guess they weren't sure how old they were. 54 cases in an entire county.
Yes.
Now, there's more people than that on the lunch floor of the Mayo Clinic. So is 54 cases high?
I wouldn't think so.
Yeah, I'm just saying, but it is interesting that she did get voted down, which is strange. I guess I am surprised at it. I guess I really am. And she's very active on Twitter and has yet to tweet about it. So, which is interesting. So, so no mask mandate in Rochester, but she's up to other things, Jay.
Yes.
She's up to equity and the Bloomberg Global Mayor's Challenge.
Oh, goodness.
Equity in the built environment, establishing career pathways for BIPOC. And women. Remember, all the victims that we have.
So that covers everybody, right? You have the Black and Indigenous and people of color, and then you have women. Who's left? Just whitey, right?
Just white men. White men need not apply. Focusing on economic recovery and growth, the city hopes to address health, income, and labor disparities deepened by COVID-19. Now, economic, what was deepened by COVID-19? We're still paying people more on unemployment than they were making at their jobs.
Yeah, that is still happening. Except in those,
it's supposed to expire September 6th. We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. Training people for universal basic income. You have a number of states where they've gotten rid of that, thank goodness, like Texas and Montana and
Florida and a few others. But there's the handful of half a dozen governors that have, but there's everybody else. I mean, with all due respect, with all due respect too to these quote our governors. I mean, if you look at Ohio has not ended it.
Nope.
he was a Republican governor of Vermont. The legislature may have a role in some of it. In some of these states, some of the state constitutions are a little different. But yeah, it is. I believe 40 some odd states are still doing that. Mm-hmm. Rochester, though, has announced, and this is largely by the mayor, as a 2021 Global Mayor's Challenge champion city. One of 50 cities selected out of over 600 applicants across the world.
Wow.
Phase 2 of the application process gives Rochester a chance to test our idea over the next few months, bringing in community co-designers to assist in the development of solutions. So now we're bringing in the consultants from the Bloomberg institutions to come in and tell Rochester how to redesign the city.
Co-designers. That word just makes me cringe.
Yeah, I mean, isn't that kind of like what they do in like communist countries?
Yeah,
they come in and they try to move resources to one place or another and keep everybody. You got to keep everybody down there. You know what I mean? So this challenge, okay, this I'm going to keep reading here. The co-design concept has quickly become a new and innovative type of community engagement that the city of Rochester is committed to. So we're not going to ask Rochester citizens what they want. We're going to bring, this is new and this is engaging. We're going to bring them in from some NGO or some, whatever you want to call it, and they're going to tell us what to do here.
It'll be a Washington think tank.
It'll be whoever it is. Yeah. I mean, in addition to a mix. Okay, hang on. Let me back up here.
Okay.
I guess I shouldn't laugh. The co-design, community co-design aims to engage and elevate the voices that have historically been underrepresented in our typical government process.
We've got to make our cities more urban and less like suburbia.
Well, and we've got to kick all the white people off the councils and all these boards, things like that. It doesn't matter if anybody else applies or anybody else runs. I mean, if you want more minority members of the city council, I have an idea. I'll run for it.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be kind of the idea to do? I'm just, maybe Mayor Norton should step down and appoint a black person in her place.
Yeah.
Of course,
that would be
won't do that, of course.
Awfully nice of her. Yeah.
It's okay if she's white. That's okay.
Yeah.
With 40,
it always is. Yes.
With 40% of black residents living in poverty, where do you get that from? Is that in Rochester?
Of course they don't source it.
Well, this is the city. I don't know if I don't know what they're talking about here.
Yeah.
But key themes identified in this process include culture clashes, overall knowledge and awareness of the industries and available jobs, educational opportunities. Can I ask you a question? Yeah. How in today's world? I mean, think about it for a minute. How in today's world can educational opportunities be something anyone has no knowledge of?
Well,
I mean, stop and think for a minute. How's that possible? You got kids, don't you know where they go? I mean, how do you not know, like, that there's, a college over here and ever Googled anything? I mean, I'm just saying, the city has to do a campaign with a bunch of consultants to figure out awareness of available jobs and educate. I got an idea. Put it on your website.
Well, we sure know.
That's the Global Mayor's Challenge right there.
We sure know that they're not out there talking about educational opportunities like charter schools and private schools and homeschool co-ops and no.
Let's advance this again here. The city of Rochester seeks this. I'm getting this from their website, by the way, rochestermn.com, and this is tied to Governor Norton because Mayor Norton, because she is Global Mayor's Challenge. I mean, that's what she's a part of.
Mm-hmm.
And by the way, these 50 urban, they describe this as urban, by the way. These 50, the 50 that were chosen are described as urban choices.
Yes.
Okay. So the city seeks to drive equitable economic recovery by removing barriers that prevent women and people of color from entering and advancing in well-paying careers.
I don't know where that's happening in America. So long as you have the education and the skill level, I would argue that even with a lot of corporations now, it doesn't really matter all that much. As long as it's more,
I think it's an advantage now to be a person of color or a woman. And there are great people of color. There are great women out there doing great work.
Absolutely.
But if you're going to make, like I said, if you're going to make these decisions based on that, that's the opposite of what we've been going for as a nation. And here's the thing, too. You talk about education, okay? And this is why it's so important for people to get this and for people on all political spectrums to start understanding post-secondary education. And the old career paths need to be rethought. But the idea that there's a barrier to advancing your career. Let me tell you something. Here in Minnesota, you get a high school diploma or GED for free, 100%. Mm-hmm. Nothing prevents you from getting it.
No.
There's really
only you.
I mean, there's really no excuse.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, many things post-secondary are not economic barriers anymore. Whether that's community college, there's more online options. Yep. There is going to school part-time. There are programs, apprenticeships. Somebody has to look. Okay, you got to do. You don't walk up to somebody and say, "Well, here you go. Here's an education." You have to go earn it.
Yep.
And I don't know what barriers prevent women from doing. What's the barrier? Woman wants to do something. What is stopping that? Notice how they never lay it out in these things. They always talk about how there's some make-believe economic or institutional thing but they never explain what that is exactly.
Yeah. Never.
Early engagement indicates that women of color are interested in exploring career opportunities but face barriers. Once again, they don't explain any of them. But if you want more information, Jay, you can contact City of Rochester.
I will be sure to do that.
So they're going to co-design.
As a woman of color, I'll get on that tomorrow.
They're going to co-design this now.
Yes.
So they're part of this mayor's. And I mean, I'm sure part of this is to get the mayor some left-wing pub.
Yes.
It's another thing she can put on a resume to run for something else. And here's another thing she's on. The Mayoral Active Transportation Caucus, and I'm getting this from bikemn.org, and I can tell you they don't like us.
No, they don't.
Among other groups that don't. The Minnesota Mayoral Active Transportation Caucus, MMATC, I guess we'll call it. I don't know. MACT. Was created to highlight the importance of pedestrian and bicycle infrastructure, and we got programs to the communities of Minnesota. It also strives to ensure that funding for the MnDOT Active Transportation Grant Program is included in transportation funding packages. The caucus is co-chaired. Once again, another conflict of interest because you can't serve two masters.
Right.
The caucus is co-chaired by Mayor of Richfield, Mayor Kim Norton of Rochester, and Mayor Jed Shaw of Walker. Boy, Walker.
Yeah. Well,
They got a casino and they got Leech Lake. What else they got?
I know. They got the ice cream shop next to the movie theater there downtown. That's about 6 blocks long.
That's still around.
Is that even 6 blocks long? 4 blocks long?
There can't be 1,000 people in Walker.
No,
There can't be. I mean, Leech Lake is beautiful.
it is. But
They got Northern Lights Casino or whatever it's called.
You've got the small town of Walker, and then it's like the Indian reservation or Native American.
Walker is basically a landing for Leech Lake.
Yes.
If I just want to be honest about it,
Yep.
if there wasn't a landing there wouldn't be a bar, there wouldn't be a gas station, there wouldn't be. That's Walker.
Yes.
With all due respect, I mean, I love northern Minnesota, but
You got to bike those boats over to the landing.
yeah, I don't. You got to bike and walk over, in a city of 1,000 people. I mean,
Get the family together and pull the boat down to the lake.
Yeah. In fact, just to be the full journalist that I am, the broadcast journalist,
Yes.
I'm going to look up how many people are in Walker.
Before you say it, let me guess.
Is that Cass County?
I think that's Cass County there.
Okay, Jay. In the 2010 census, you tell me. How many do you think are there? That's part of the Brainerd statistical area. Really, that's not even close to Brainerd. Brainerd's in Crow Wing County.
Yeah, Brainerd's in Crow Wing County, but it's close enough. There aren't that many statistical areas around the state, so they got to group them together,
I guess everybody's got to be a part of
something. Yeah. If you're not a part of 3 different regional governments, what do you got?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to guess that Walker holds 9,300 people.
What? 9,000?
Oh, wait. Well, you made it look like you were surprised, so I was going to go
I was surprised by how right I was.
Oh, okay. If I'm guessing for real, then I'm going to say that it holds probably about 1,200.
Okay. You're not far.
Yeah.
It is 934.
Okay.
That was the official census
Wow.
from 2010.
We got to get that biking, walking.
Yeah. And actually in
stuff up.
1950, they had 1,192. So it's
Wow.
actually decreased in population, but you need biking and walking. because, you have to have it.
I mean, if you can't bike the 6 blocks from one end of town to the other in the dead of winter, what are you going to do?
Yeah. Okay. Now let's I want
Okay.
to say what this organization does.
Yes.
By the way, the League of Minnesota Cities and the Regional Council of Mayors provided assistance in forming this caucus.
The Regional Council of Mayors.
Another one.
Yes.
The caucus serves as a nonpartisan resource, of course.
Of course, although there's no conservatives.
Yeah, of course. This caucus was, in fact, I'm going to back up a second. Our state needs to make significant investments to upgrade its transportation system. This is an opportunity to make sure not only that our roads, bridges, and transit systems are improved, that our communities have resources to modernize infrastructure and provide programs to meet the needs of pedestrians and bicyclists as well. So in Walker, we not only need to have transit as part of that, but we also need a program. Hey, remember Orr, Minnesota? When I was fishing in Lake Cagatogama?
Yeah.
A car-free living in a city of 200 people in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And that was whatever the lake is there. Pine
Pelican
Mountain?
Lake?
Is it Pelican Lake?
I think it's
don't
Pelican
know.
Lake. Yeah.
I'm going to look that up because I don't think you're right. I think it's
I thought that
Pine something.
I thought I camped in Orr fishing at Pelican Lake a couple times.
Okay, I'm going to look it up here. But
right.
these needs include safety, business and economic opportunities. Yeah, I don't care how high the taxes are. If they got a bike lane, I'm gonna put a business there.
Yeah.
And of course, improved health and environmental benefits.
Yeah, there's a lake. Go swimming. Go rowing.
But these same places too that talk about health will approve every fast food restaurant, every everything like that will all happen also. But I guess if you walk there, then I guess it's okay, right?
Right.
Okay, or Bay. You're right. It is Pelican Lake.
See?
What am I thinking of? What's like Pine?
Generally pretty good at geography. Pine? I don't know.
What lake am I thinking of? I was thinking of, I see where it was. Pine Mountain Lake, Bacchus, Minnesota.
Bacchus.
Yes, that would be between, by the way, Brainerd is nowhere near Walker. Bacchus is about by Hackensack. It's about halfway between Brainerd and Walker, which are nowhere near each other.
Right.
So, but again, this idea where do we see Mayor Norton again? You see her showing up on another one of these thingamajiggies.
I mean, being from Rochester, what?
Look at all these mayors that are on here.
A couple hours south of us here in the cities. Why are you?
Spano, of course.
Of course. Yeah.
What were you saying now? I interrupted. What?
Just that, being a couple hours south of us in Rochester, what would she have to do with Brainerd? And why is she helping to push bike lanes?
Okay, because
in Walker.
Because every city has to be a cookie cutter of the other. Every city has to have X amount of minorities in it, X amount of rentals, X amount of bike paths, X amount of sidewalks, X amount of affordable housing, X amount of high density. Mm-hmm. The goal of this is that no matter where you are, you cannot escape these people.
Right. It's true. Just for our listeners, the Brainerd Micropolitan Statistical Area is defined by the United States Census Bureau, is an area consisting of Cass County and Crow Wing County, which do border each other, even though Brainerd and Walker might be at opposite ends of that. They are in contiguous counties. So, and I know I've talked to you about we probably need to do a show on micropolitan statistical areas because it's another form of regional government that people just don't even know exists.
But I mean, is a statistical area doesn't have a governing body, though, does it?
Not per se. It's like a loose association based on economic opportunities. So.
Oh, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. So Mayor Norton has been all about. She was also served. She served as a legislator. She also was a school board member down there before that. So what I'm saying is she's moved up the ranks here of and I think she's angling for CD1 because I'm going to predict it here. I'm going to predict, and unfortunately because of illness, I'm wondering if Congressman Hagedorn's going to run again.
Yeah,
he's battling kidney cancer. He had it, went into remission. He announced last month that he has it again. Mm-hmm. Who knows what his health will be like in a year? Who knows how this will be redistricted? Mm-hmm. It has to get redistricted, too. But you know where the first is. I mean, we know that here, that down in from Mankato to Rochester down to I don't know if Red Wings in CD2 or CD1,
Red Wings CD2.
Yeah, you go down to like Houston County.
Close.
Yeah, Albert Lee.
Yeah, because Red Wings in Goodhue County.
Okay, but I know like anything southeast of that, down in that corner there, down by I-90 where it goes
Once
to
you get down to
Lacrosse.
Wabasha, Winona.
Houston County. They are all in one. I don't know how much that. I thought we'd lose a seat since we didn't.
Yeah.
I don't know how that plays out. But I will say this. She's angling to be that candidate.
Yeah.
I can read tea leaves here.
Yeah.
And if that's an open seat, which it
It
could
could be.
be. With, again, I don't know. I wish Congressman Hagedorn the best.
Yes.
But is it possible? And is it possible with what's going on with his wife right now that she brings him down also?
Yeah.
I mean, could it happen? I mean, I'm just saying.
Could, or if it's an open seat, she could be the one running against. Yeah.
Jay.
Yeah. Could you imagine that race?
Yeah. Who would I write in there? I'd write in somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know who, but I mean, I would have to.
Yeah.
So.
Maybe you should just write in, "Good luck, I'm out."
I'll let you take
Yeah.
that. I'll let you take that. But yeah, I mean, bottom line is, I mean, you look at. I can't remember the guy's name who's run against Hagedorn the last 2 times. I'm going to assume third time's not the charm.
Probably not.
The hell's his name? Dan Feehan, I want to say.
Yeah,
it
that
was.
sounds right.
Of course, this is Tim Walz's old seat.
Right.
And I still consider Hagedorn responsible for Walz being governor because he should have beaten him in 2016 when Trump won the first by 8 miles and somehow Hagedorn managed to lose. You know, if Walz would have gotten beat, we would have heard from him again. But this mayor has taken a lurch very, very left recently. She's a snarky tweeter. Mm-hmm. I can see the groups she's aligning with. And that is my now, you know, I just doomed her campaign, by the way, because if I predict something, it usually doesn't come out.
That's true.
But you name the organization. You go look at the Rochester. She's cutting a ribbon in every single. Now, look, I respect mayors who are everywhere.
Yeah.
They should be. Mm-hmm. Okay, but if their ulterior motives or something else, she's clearly in with whoever the big donors are down there. Being a former legislator, you know that she's got name ID and automatic and all that stuff. I don't like mayors who are partisan. I don't like them declaring that. I think that's the wrong message to send in a local race.
Yes.
That's just me. I don't like that. It's one thing to have a set of principles. It's another thing to clearly have a party agenda. That's 2 different things.
And let me just say, because there's been a lot of people kind of chirping up lately and saying, why for these local elections don't we just make them partisan so that way we know who they are and we know who our people are? You don't want that. I
think that's the worst thing that could happen.
Yeah. What's Republican or Democrat about putting in a stop sign somewhere? Or, there are things, obviously, with fiscal responsibility, bonding versus cash, all those kinds of things. But I think it's a very, very, very bad idea that is being pushed by people who have no knowledge of local politics whatsoever and no experience in local politics.
And I think it, I want people voting in local races based on local issues.
Yes.
I don't want them going, okay, the president is Democratic or Republican, and I voted for so-and-so, so I'm going to vote down the line for that's the exact wrong way to, that's the wrong way to do any voting.
You're going to split your state in half or in Minnesota, I guess you would end up having a majority of city councils and stuff, conservative, Republican, if you will, maybe not conservative at all. But then you will have a certain number of school boards, city councils, counties you will never have control over. If it's not partisan, you at least have a shot by running on issues of getting your getting your opportunity to run a city or a county or a school board and put conservative ideals into play.
Well, and I think also too, a lot of people run for city council. That's all they want to do.
Yeah.
They're not looking to be part of the partisan cesspool.
Look at the debacle that Minneapolis has become.
Oh God.
Everybody declares a party, and unless you're Democrat, Green Party. You don't.
Communists, social workers,
Right.
unite.
Social workers unite.
Smoke marijuana in the bathroom, smoking in the boys' room party. I mean, whatever they are.
Yeah.
I'm interested, I'll tell you what, to see Mayor Norton's response to what happens down there now in Rochester. Because I got to believe, and I've kind of been thinking about this the whole show, I got to believe that she knew a negative vote was coming.
Oh, you don't push something like that if you...
Without knowing the result.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a backup plan. There has to be something because she just got slapped down. And there's got to be either she's going to play the victim or she has something else she thinks she can do about it.
Do you think that there'll be a press conference with a bunch of people in white coats?
Yeah, probably. She's close with the Mayo.
Yeah.
And I think, like I said earlier, you get COVID, don't blame me. You so-and-so's not wearing a masky poo-poo, so it's not my deal, even though you have a county of 82% vaccinated people, which is herd immunity by any standard. Mm-hmm. Again, there's something we're not being told. Yeah, I think she will. I think you'll see more puff pieces written about how she's just trying to help. Mm-hmm. And it's just all out of the goodness of her. It's just nothing more than that. It's sort of like Governor Walz saying that he's not thinking about his own reelection, and then 6 hours later attending a virtual fundraiser for his reelection.
Yeah.
Not even mentioned in the local media, by the way. It was Alpha
and it
News
did
and a
happen,
few other people that broke that story, that he claimed not to know, that he's just single-mindedly focused on one thing right now. That's all he's thinking about, which we know if a politician says that, the opposite is true.
Right.
So, so I mean, and he's said, if you don't support me, then vote against me. Well, is that not a declaration of running for another term?
Yeah, of course.
And Mayor Norton, here's the only caveat to this. Mayor Norton is up next year for a re-election. And do you think she'll leave without, or would she wait until it's the in-between year? I say if it's an open seat, she gives it up, but that's my opinion.
Yeah,
I don't know how much support. I don't know how much support she has outside of Rochester. I mean, it's one of the larger cities, maybe the largest city down in CD1.
Oh yeah, it easily is.
Oh, okay. I don't know.
I mean, Albert Lee, I know, is a pretty good sized city, but I don't think anything else comes close. What else they got? Worthington. Well, Mankato, I guess maybe.
Is Worthington? That's not that big.
That's CD1. That whole
that
southern
little strip there. Yeah, that's not 7. You're getting me to blank now. Owatonna, is that in C? That's a decent sized city, but not a huge one. I think that's in C. Now I got to look. Why do you do that?
Always challenging you. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is what we always teach: is that start in the local offices and then run for things, bigger offices once you've built a resume. So we shouldn't be surprised, and we're not discouraging her to do this, but I mean, this is an example, for all of you to learn from. Hey, this is how they do it.
Well, and let me stop for a minute.
Yeah.
Let's say Congressman Hagedorn can't run again.
Yep.
Where's the Republican mayor?
Right.
Where's the Republican school board member? Where's the Republican county commissioner?
Yeah.
Who's that person? We can make fun of Mayor Norton all night, but who is the person, not necessarily angling, quote, from a conservative, joining X groups and doing all the things, the global mayor's challenge and blah, blah, blah. Who is out there championing certain things?
Well, and that's why they're going to wind up with Jennifer Carnahan. If it's an open seat.
I don't know who they end up with. Yeah. Get Gil Guteneck back. I don't know what they're going to do down there. But I mean, it's a legitimate thing to say. Who is that person right now? Mm-hmm. So you could. I mean, I say this as a wake up call to people that if you want, when you talk about the
Yeah.
congressional races next year and the governor's race and the blah, blah, blah. You got to be thinking, this is the thing about a party. Not that I want to be a part of one, but you've got to, party building never starts at the top. You don't start a house by building the roof. Okay? You start at the bottom. And the just unwillingness to do that, and then after an election wondering what happened, is a cycle that it's one of the reasons I just can't be involved in party stuff, because I'm tired of it. I'm tired of, quite frankly, saying the same thing over and over again.
Yeah.
Why do I bother saying it? I mean, it's just the only people hear it are you and me.
Right.
I mean, and all the people who listen, but I mean, why bother? I mean, if you're going to scratch your head as to, why you can't find, I read something, John Gilmore said something on my podcast.
Yeah.
About Carla Nelson, how we like to make fun of her.
Yes.
And, the feeling down there is if Carla Nelson doesn't run again, well, we're going to lose.
Yeah.
How can you have a sitting senator and have not a clue of anybody in an entire, there's like 100,000 people who live in a Senate district, and you have not that many, but I mean, you don't have anybody?
Yeah.
What does that tell you about the job you're doing building a party? You don't have a party there. You got people who vote Republican, but you don't have a party.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean,
laughable. It would be interesting. I think Steve Druskowski is from down Winona
he's CD2.
area.
Yeah, he's 2.
Oh, is he 2?
Yeah,
he's
2.
in Winona. Really?
Yeah,
That's 2
Lloyd
there.
Cheney told me he's 2.
I would like to see him go to Washington and be in that Minnesota delegation with Ilhan Omar. After that, all the good things he's done on her. That would give me some personal satisfaction.
Because I want to say,
yes,
he's from. Is it Winona or is it? I thought he was from Goodhue County, but I could be wrong about that.
Maybe.
I'm pretty certain that's CD2. 21, is that his district?
Yeah, 21B.
I'm pretty certain that's CD2.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Now I have to look it up just because you pissed me off again.
I keep pushing the limits of your knowledge. It's all right.
Well, he was he was born in Winona, but
okay.
I don't know what city he lives in. Winona could be split up too.
Well, I know 21B is part of Goodhue, part of Winona, part of Wabasha. So I don't know. Could be 1 or 2.
I thought he was
really
2,
say.
but yeah, I don't know who the heck. I don't know who the heck they.
Yeah.
Who knows? I mean, from CD2, I have no idea. I mean, I'm not a big believer in rematches, and my guess is that here's the CD where the border is there, so it's just that last strip, and I want to say so. Winona looks like it's in 2, whereas or part of it is.
Yeah, I mean, it depends where he's from. Part of 21B is in 1, but it's down. It is down kind of in that Winona County area, Whitewater Township, Elba Township.
Is it B or A? Because the district of 21, there's a little touch of it in CD1, but not much.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the major cities? Oh, that's. Yeah, okay. Oh, I see where it is. So that's where Rochester is, south of there. Or, okay. Wabasha County, that's CD2. And I know Goodhue County is. So whatever. But anyway, I mean, so the fact remains. I mean, who is the person building that political base? Who's that person solving those local problems and getting credibility and a name ID, and building that base. So if they choose to do something, or if someone recruits them, they are ready to make that move. Or is it a rookie who will make, all the mistakes that rookies always make? Say what you want about Mayor Norton. She's not a rookie.
Right.
Not going to make stupid rookie mistakes that every rookie makes. Every rookie strikes out a few times. It just is. So I just doomed her campaign, though. I totally doomed it by predicting that she'll run. And I'm also going to predict she is the endorsed candidate. I'm going to predict those two things right here. So just like I said, Tim Pawlenty would beat Jeff Johnson by 20 points. You play this back. Play this back next summer, and we'll see what happens. Okay? So, my my history of project. That's the one where I can't live down. I can't live down that one. So what do you think? Who would be you? You still think? I mean, who's down there? Who's down there to run?
I have no idea. I'm out of options now. Nobody. What is Jeremy Munson's from Mankato, right?
Yeah, I think he's from like St. Peter or.
Yeah.
I know he's from CD1 because I think he was like the CD1 vice chair at some point.
Yeah. So.
Well, yeah, I guess he is down there. I don't know. I can't remember what district he is, but
yeah. That would be better than. I can't even think. It's the township board chair of Elba Township.
Well, but you know what? They may have more of experience than some people.
Or the guy that runs Tony's hardware store, and that's the people they usually get.
Yeah,
to,
Tony.
Right? Yeah. Right.
I don't know. I'll just tell you that, I bet, looking at other places, I mean, we made fun of the mayor of North Branch, the former mayor there, but
she lost.
But I mean, again, another person groomed to run in CD8.
Yeah.
Another person that was, I'm sure, had higher ambitions, was using a position to get something, and was recruited by somebody. Take a look at CD8. I mean,
yeah, and I don't know. We'd have to do some follow-up work. Rumor has it after she lost, she moved somewhere else so she could run somewhere else in the net. We'll have to look up where she went.
In somewhere else in
for
Minnesota?
A future podcast, yes.
Really?
Yes.
What was her name?
Oh,
we don't need to know.
We don't care.
What's her name? Just call her. What's her name?
Yeah,
Sheila. We'll call her Sheila. I don't know why. Breezer Crocodile Dundee came in my head. We'll call her Sheila. All right, Jay.
Yeah.
Well, so watch out for Kim Norton being the CD1 candidate. You heard it here for the first. I just declared her candidacy. She has me to blame if something goes wrong.
Yeah, that's okay.
And I'd be happy if something went wrong. But again, look at all of the things. She has a bio page on the Rochester. It's full of a local person wanting to move up would put all of that stuff there. So just be on the lookout, folks, for her running in CD1. Any update on the Republican shenanigans?
Ooh, take a look at that.
Oh, I'm gonna have
Shouldn't
to.
still be going on this time of night. You said they need to get like 10
Carnahan
votes,
is
right?
out.
Really?
She resigned.
Did she get her $100,000?
I don't know that yet.
Breaking news right here. I mean, it won't be breaking news by the time I edit it.
Here's a breaking tweet. Thanks everyone for an amazing 4 years. We've done so much to build our party.
What?
To where it is today, which is backwards from when you started. And I'm proud of what we've accomplished. Remember, love always triumphs over hate. And I can't wait to share what is next in my career.
CD1. We just announced it today.
Well,
Yes.
and also, how about mentioning the people who were victims of the, stuff she's accused of. And,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Apparently, I don't.
Wow.
Some people have stepped down.
Really?
Including David Pascoe, apparently. I'm trying to follow the tweets here, but yeah, you're right. It's an open secret she wants to run for Congress, which is just incredible right now to even be thinking about something like that. I don't know about I can't find anything about an external audit, I guess, is coming next. And maybe, that's something about having like the treasurer be unelected now. Isn't it unelected
Really?
now? Yeah, I'm pretty certain. But apparently some other people are also leaving the committee. So stay tuned for this.
Which committee was this that was voting on it?
This is the executive committee. That's the CD
Okay.
chairs, secretary, which is Barb Sutter,
Yep.
the vice chair or whatever. There's 15. National committee person, I think, is on that.
Yep.
And so there's a man and a woman, I want to say.
Yeah.
So I don't know everybody anymore. So
Wow.
yeah, so I don't know about nothing else, but apparently she appeared by phone. I don't have any other details.
So then she wasn't voted out because she resigned, which leads me to think that she must have got her $100,000 she was looking for.
I don't know,
We'll have
or
to-
else she could have resigned thinking they had the votes. She could have.
Suppose better
have been
to
close
resign
enough
than
to-
get ousted.
Getting ousted is pretty.
Yeah.
Ooh. So
That might ruin your chances to run for something if
Yeah.
you're ousted. So maybe. Wow.
all right.
Inner workings of party politics. Doesn't make you want to step up and be part of a party.
Isn't it? That's why it's so
Hey.
great to have nonpartisan
Yes.
city council races. Plus, you can make strange bedfellows. You can agree on things without party stuff influencing.
Yeah.
Jay, I don't care anymore because it's that time again
Yes.
where you grace us with your words of wisdom. As become a weekly tradition, I have no idea how we started this. Just like I have no idea how I started guessing songs. I don't know where that came from, but
I think I just started ranting at the end of some podcast, and it just kind of grew.
It was Brother Love being a knockoff of a preacher kind of character like Robert Tilton. You sounded like you were giving a sermon. And I mean that in a positive way, not in a negative way. And for some reason, his theme song just came to my head. I think that's how it started. Like there has to be music to what you're saying.
Right.
So
Well,
Community Solutions once again presents with his words of wisdom. The women love him, the men want to be him, styling and profiling. Wheelin', dealin', son of a gun, the master of disaster, the king of sting. Ladies and gentlemen, we present with the sign-off sermon, SOS, Jason Bradley.
thank you, Andrew. Yeah, things are a mess. Things are a mess all over. I mean, we look at what's happening in Afghanistan. That's not fully getting reported. We've got over 10,000 of our own people who can't seem to get to where they can be evacuated from the country. We've got people that have worked with the government there. Their lives are in danger. We've got Christians whose lives are in danger. We've got women who are going to be forced to go kind of back into hiding, if you will. And of course, we don't hear the feminist groups speaking up about that. But then over here in this country, we have people that really don't care for women either. But the strange thing is, a lot of them seem to be women. Just like There are a lot of people that don't care for white people, but a lot of them seem to be white. That confuses me. That confuses me a lot because you guys seem to be pushing a lot harder than anyone else does against the person that looks like you in the mirror. Andrew and me, we're not for that kind of thing. If you're the most qualified for the position, then we believe it should be yours. If you're willing to work hard enough to attain it, then we believe it should be yours. We believe in the values of hard work and sacrifice and becoming a student of your craft and learning all you can and doing your best and pouring out sweat equity just for a chance to be able to make your dream come true. There's no guarantees in this country. But that's kind of what it makes America great, you know? You might fail at something, but then you take all those things that you learned from your failure and you can apply it to the next thing, and you have a place here. There's something that you will excel at if you're willing to work hard enough to do it, and you will find it. You just got to not give up. But we've got all these people like the mayor of Rochester who wants to step in and tell you how to live your life. They know better. Why? Because they're hooked up with all these smart doctors from the Mayo Clinic, or they're, hooked into this organization or that organization, or belong to this regional government body or this or that. But they want to tell you that because you don't, you're dumb. You're dumb, and you really shouldn't be making decisions for yourself because that's dangerous. Instead, you must listen to their sage advice because they've been around. They know. Here's what I know. The America that I believe in. And I'm not talking about the governmental structure. I'm not talking about the land we walk. I'm talking about the American spirit, the idea of America. Is such that we can be anything that we want to be if we are willing to put forward our hardest effort. If we're willing to not make excuses for ourselves, learn from our mistakes, and push forward, that we have that opportunity. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. I tell you this, the people who are in Afghanistan today are probably not feeling very happy. I feel like they don't have a lot of opportunity to pursue anything that makes them happy. A lot of them are running and hiding, and they're scared. That's not what this country was built on, but yet we have these people over here that want us to feel fear. Like Fauci or these other people.
Jay, can I interrupt something here? Just one thing real quick.
Okay. You're interrupting greatness.
I know, but I'm going to add to it. Notice the words that the founders use. Pursuit of happiness.
Yes.
Pursuit
yes.
of it. And I've always been struck by those words. That is not, you're not guaranteed anything. You're not given anything. Life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Mm-hmm. Think about those words and think about what they really mean. It's just interesting how they chose to use those words.
Yeah.
So.
Originally it was property, as Thomas Locke had written, but because of the whole slavery thing, they edited it. But, yes.
When we teach a civics class, we will explain that we can do it better than you can do it anywhere else.
And so here we are. We need to be thankful for what we've got. We need to be thankful for the opportunities we have and the rights we have. But we've got a lot of people that are not thankful for the rights we have. They are not thankful for the opportunities available. Instead, other people that they deem to have more opportunities, they've got to shut down. They've got to limit competition. They've got to limit ability. They've got to put a cap on somebody's ambition. Why? Because they need more votes. I mean, that's really what it comes down to. They don't believe in black people any more than white people. They don't believe in Native Americans or Hispanics or anyone else any more than anyone else. But what they do believe is that they need to stay in power because their ideas are better. They're buying us off. And we're falling for it, whether it is increased unemployment benefits, whether it is EBT cards, whether it is tuition-free college, whatever it is that perks up your ears, it's all just a ruse to get you to vote for them. There is only one thing that we need to keep in mind if we want to make this the greatest country on earth again. And I still think that it is the greatest country on earth. It's tarnished a bit, but I mean, if you go down the list and start naming off countries, would you really want to live there? Russia, China, Vietnam. Not anything negative against the people that live in those countries, but those governments stink. All right? And so let's keep that in mind. Let's really think about and be thankful for the opportunities that we have. And when people come along wanting to take away what God has given us, A, they don't have that ability or right. B, only you can allow them to do that. Only you can acquiesce and say, all right, take it. Are you willing to do that? Are you willing to sit by and watch as they do what they do and you just have to kind of go along for the ride? I hope not. I hope that you have more fight in you than that. We cannot sit and wait. We don't have the time. We don't have the time. We have people that want to steal the last little bit of our liberty from us, and we have to fight for it. So what are you going to do? Option A is nothing. Continue with life as normal. But I'll tell you, if you choose option A, that is going to run out at some point because eventually they're going to come for you and shut down the thing that you love. Or option B, and that's to take a stand for your countrymen, your family, your friends. To take a stand and change this thing and preserve it. Let your name go down in history. If your name goes down in history, if you leave a legacy for your children, for your grandchildren, for your grandchildren's children, I guess it would be your great-grandchildren, then you...
Great.
Yeah.
Grandchildren's grandchildren.
Wow. Is that what I said, or did I say grandchildren's children? I don't know.
Said.
I'm losing track. We're all going crazy here. But at any rate, if we can leave a legacy of liberty for those people, we will have fought back from what I think no other nation has ever fought back from. They go good for a couple hundred years, and freedom peters out, and they go into despotism. That's a choice we're faced with right now. Are we going to go into despotism? There's a whole lot of people out there that are okay with that. They don't understand how bad it's going to be, and that it might be their head on the chopping block someday. Me, I'm not so okay with that. So who's with me? Who's willing to stand? Who's willing to do something? Let us know what's going on out there, and let us know how you're feeling about it. Email us, commsolutionsmn@gmail.com. That's commsolutionsmn@gmail.com. Let us know you're in. We're helping people all over the state all the time how to build effective campaigns so that they can go out there and win these school board races, these county races, these city races. And we want to help you. This is about spreading freedom to everybody we know. about preserving something that I'm not going to say it's on life support, but the patient is weak. So let's do this. Let's sacrifice for those we love and do something amazing together. Because we love you, Minnesota. But now it's your turn to get to work.